I got this strange feeling of deja vu. And I'll tell you something else. I've got this suspicious feeling of deja. Now, just in case you didn't see last week's video, it was something of an event because I was running for an event, a virtual event, the first time I've ever run in a virtual event. And because it was special, it was a virtual event special, I thought I'll go to the New Forest, make it a special run. And I've been to the New Forest running on a few occasions, but I decided to go to a route that I'd never gone to before. Therein lay my downfall because it turned into a trail run. I'd never done one of those before. I was expecting it to be kind of flattish. It wasn't. There were bits I had to stop to a walk and a crawl almost to go up hills. I had to, at one stage, I sort of almost fell into a bog, knee deep in a bog. And also, I had to traverse a ravine by way of a high wire. Now, some of that I may have exaggerated, and you may want to check out last week's video to find out which parts. But all in all, it meant that the time that I put in for the 10k was actually a little bit longer than I would be happy with normally. It was, 1 hour 12. So I think it was actually my longest time ever for a 10k. Now, some of you posted in the comments and said, well, actually, that's still not bad and you'd be quite happy with it. So I don't want to suggest for a minute that that's a bad time. It's just that as it's an event, I kind of want to post a time that's normal for me, if you see what I mean, if that makes sense. So anyway, what I'm going to do instead is to have another crack at it. So I've come back up to the New Forest to have another go, but this time I'm actually going to be running a route that I've kind of run before. I sort of know the area, so I know I can probably put in a slightly better time this week. At least that's what I'm hoping. But I have to say, just going back to last week's video, to the run, it's the first time I'd ever done a kind of a trail run. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was bonkers. It was unexpected. I didn't know what was happening, and it was great fun actually. Even though I got really muddy, and it was a long time. I loved it. So that was a bit of an eye opener for me, and I think I may do that again because I've always done running. For me, I've always thought that if I stop at any point on the run, then the run is over. It's kind of what I do to set myself these kind of mental challenges. I like to just keep running, so I make sure the routes that I take, I don't have to cross over any roads or kind of stop for any reason. So I'm out of breath. I can tell I'm out of breath. So what I tend to do is to make sure that I take routes that mean that I can just keep going for the whole run, and if I do have to stop, run over. So it's just a weird thing that I do. But of course, that run last week, I was stopping all the time. But actually, it just added to it. I was kind of having to think on my feet, and it was great fun. So anyway, what I'm going to try and do today is to run and not stop. That's the idea. Try and do that 10k. Try and put in a decent time. So I've got my number on again that I had on last week, and going to have a go at the 10k again. My wife has come with me again for a ride up the New Forest, so that's nice to have her company. Right, I'm going to carry on my warm-up. I really am out of breath already, so I'll try and get regular breathing in, get cracking with the run, and then I'll tell you all about it on the other side. There we go. Run complete. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's stick the time straight up on the screen, and you will see that it's a more kind of usual time for me, which was what, about 61 and a bit minutes, something like that. So I'm very happy with that, actually. That's sort of on the faster end of what I normally do. So I wasn't expecting sub 10k because the weather's quite warm, perhaps not as warm as the last time I attempted this run, but it is still warm, and the sun breaks through the clouds, which it has done for probably half the run at least. It's quite hot, but there's, you know, plenty of trees here. This is the New Forest, so that's kind of in the job description. And so there was a bit of shade along the way as well, which was very nice. It's there's a bit up and downy, but again, not like not climbing a mountain like it was last week. So there we go. So this was kind of my last attempt at doing this, really, because the Vitality 10,000 is valid from, I don't know if I mentioned this before the run, 29th of May through to the 6th of June. Today is the 6th of June. I attempted the last run on Bank Holiday Monday, the 31st. So it's a few days later. It's the weekend, and today is the last day. So I knew that if I didn't do a good time today, I could fall back on the run from a few days ago for me, but last week for you if you're watching that. So that was good. I did bring some water with me today. We've been talking about that a bit recently, about bringing water. I think if I go on my usual 10k route, it's not too hot and it's a reasonably flat route, then I can get away without taking water. But today I thought I'm going to need some, and I was thankful for it, actually. Also had one of those little energy bar things. I really don't know if they help, but you know, it's something to do, isn't it, all the way around. Usually I listen to podcasts when I go around. Today I thought it's a bit different, a special one, so I listen to music, and I've got such a wide taste in music, I listen to anything. So we had, what do we have? I just hit shuffle, and I had some Duran Duran, I had The Weeknd, what else did I have? Amy Winehouse. I can't know what else I had now. I had loads of stuff. Oh, I had some classical. I love a bit of classical, and there was the Moscow Invitation, which is from the Queen's Gambit, which is a limited series on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's great. It's really, really good. So anyway, what to do now? Yeah, I can find my wife, because she, the route that we took is, well, there's lots of little paths going off, so you could make it as long as you want, really, but if you kind of stick to the main route, it's about 4k, 4 and a fraction. So we got back to the start, and I'd done 8k, bit of maths for you there, and we decided to carry on, actually, on that way, because always when we come this way, we go through this bit here, this bit of wood here, and then we always turn left. So I thought, well, we'll keep going that way, because I don't really know where it goes. And so I did a kilometre and a bit down there, and turned around and came back. Actually, it wasn't quite as far as that, because I still had 700 metres or something to go when we got back to the start. So my wife stopped there, and I assumed she's gone on back to the car, and I sort of went and carried on and just finished the run. So hopefully she's waited for me, because she's got the car keys. So, but this week she didn't fall in any mud, so I didn't laugh at her. So, you know, hopefully she hasn't left me here. If she has, perhaps someone could come and rescue me, please. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This, you see, has been quite a dull video compared to last week, but I was hoping for that, because I was hoping to get a reasonable time and not to, you know, have to, I don't know, scale any mountains or wrestle any grizzly bears. And thankfully I didn't have to do either of those things. So I was able to complete the run, which is marvellous. So thank you very, very much for watching. As usual, leave your comments below. Always love to read them. And I'll see you for another video next week. You haven't left me here then? Oh, thank you very much. If you see this bit, leave it in the comments. I want to know if anybody watches past the credits.